Nick A30 has been going viral on TikTok.
You're the king. I'm the king.
But that's left everyone with one big question. Is this family-friendly guy hiding any secrets? Well, from his history of fights to his car collection and even a long-lost brother, I dove deep and put together these 30 facts that you didn't know about Nick A30. Like, for example, did you know that Nick A30 swears? And I know we've all seen that old video, but that's not what I'm talking about. Because when Nick blew up on Fortnite, old videos resurfaced, specifically in this orange shirt, of him swearing.
Really?
Now, he has said that he was trying to imitate his favorite creators back in the day, and while he doesn't regret it, it's not really who he is. He was raised to be respectful. He's a family-friendly guy, and he's even gone as far to say that he doesn't even swear off stream. But that's not true, and you know it, Nick, because I did my research, and Nick actually admitted he does sometimes swear.
I listen to music with swearing in it.
And if that wasn't enough, I searched through his old videos and caught Nick red-handed cussing out a player in OG Fortnite.
Oh, watch this, guys. Watch this, watch this, watch this.
Endure and survive.
Surprise, motherfucker! Oh my god, take a seat!
Nick, you should be ashamed, but not about number 2, because Nick's name has a secret meaning and it's actually pretty clever. Nick grew up in Canada, more specifically Nova Scotia, where he attended Prince Andrew High School, and that's where Nick found his love for football. He actually played outside linebacker for his school team, and for whatever reason, for his jersey number, he decided to pick, you guessed it, number 30. And Nick's full name is actually Nicholas Amuni, or Nick A. When he decided to start his YouTube channel, he went with Nick A30, with the A being a nod to him being Canadian. But Nick is also a little disgusting because we need to talk about his interesting choice in food. See, Nick A30 lives with Mom A30 and Dad A30, and Mom A30 is an absolute hero. She prepares a ton of Nick's meals and makes some amazing stuff that he posts to his Instagram. She's Lebanese, so she makes a lot of Lebanese food, tuna tartare, lamb kofta, shake and bake chicken, which is all very normal and tasty, and honestly, I'm a little jealous. But Nick can't seem to shake one weird habit when it comes to his ice cream. He will actually take ice cream out of the freezer, scoop it into a cup, and he'll microwave it until it turns into a liquid. Now, at least that's not dangerous like number 4, Nick A30's scary encounter doing a food challenge. So for some reason, Nick A30 decided to do a hot pepper challenge video. He managed to get through most of the peppers and completed the challenge for the video. And when he was finished, he thought he was fine, but a few hours later, he started to have some agonizing pain in his stomach. So he decided to ask his dad to take him to the hospital. On the way to the hospital, panic started to set in. His face was getting numb, he was closing his fist and unable to open it, and he really started feeling like he was gonna die. Once he got to the hospital, he was put in a waiting room for a couple of hours, and while sitting there, he started to feel better. Eventually, he decided to just go home without seeing a doctor. It turns out it was mostly the panic from the pain that caused most of these symptoms, and I'm just really glad that he ended up being okay. Okay, switching over from that, at number 5, did you know that there is a special secret about Nick A30's glasses? So he lives in Eastern Canada, and a lot of the conventions he attends are in the United States. And while he loves meeting fans, it's always a bit of a trip to go out there, so he always makes one special stop when visiting California. So Nick wears a very special type of glasses that is only made in a place in California. So every time he goes out there, he picks up a new pair in case one of his old ones needs to be replaced. Like, what if he needed a new pair after getting into a fight? And yes, Nick A30 has gotten into fights. Because when he was younger, some kids used to pick on him, and sometimes Bro A30 would be there to defend him, but Nick A30 wanted to take things into his own hands and started to take a liking to martial arts. He ended up becoming a Taekwondo blue belt, and while he's competed in competitions, he's also been in some real fights with other kids. Yes, the family-friendly Nick A30 has thrown hands with someone at some point. That's crazy. But his love for wrestling goes a lot deeper. At number 7, Nick was a massive fan of wrestling. And he always had one big idol, the Canadian UFC legend, Georges St-Pierre. So you can imagine how special it was for Nick when he got the opportunity to hop in the octagon with GSP. He spent most of the day sparring with him, training with him, doing some rolling, and even getting to talk about each other's careers. It was a massive moment for Nick A30, but everyone on TikTok is talking about this moment.
You think you're the king? I'm the king. Oh, wait! Guys, holy, you're getting banned. That's it, okay? You're banned. Good job.
And the memes that spawned out of this have been endless.
Mods ban that guy and blow up his fucking house.
But what does Nick A30 think about this right now? If you guys haven't seen, Nick A30 is still trying to record 100-player customs, and sometimes it takes him over 4 hours to record one 30-second clip. The griefing and stream sniping that he's experiencing is worse than I've ever seen it before in Fortnite, and Nick A30 is struggling to play regular Battle Royale or pretty much anything other than private creative lobbies. While the TikTok attention is fun, he really just wants to be able to enjoy his stream without it being ruined. He wishes that he could go back to how things used to be, but maybe not too far back. Because he didn't get his start with Fortnite. He actually played The Last of Us multiplayer. Yeah, apparently there's a multiplayer game mode in The Last of Us, and he was a small content creator at the time, covering updates and doing gameplay around that. And Nick, I actually ended up finding some of your old logos from back in this era, and your logo has definitely come a long way. But Nick might have not been who he is today if it wasn't for number 10. A massive shout out from the biggest YouTuber in the world. And I'm not talking about Mr. Beast, because back then the biggest YouTuber was PewDiePie. And Nick A30 was very influenced by him. He would sometimes say the exact same things that PewDiePie would say during his Last of Us playthroughs, and that's why sometimes he swore during his old videos. So you can imagine how excited he was when PewDiePie announced that he was going to make a video shouting out small creators that he enjoyed. Thousands of creators submitted their channels to be shouted out by PewDiePie, and only a handful were selected.
First one is Nick A30. His channel does Last of Us multiplayer stuff. It's really funny, and I haven't seen anyone else do this, so I thought that was pretty cool.
He got a massive shout out from the biggest YouTuber at the time, gaining thousands of new subscribers. And this was a huge moment for Nick A30, pretty much telling him that this YouTube thing could really work out for him. But things didn't really start to pick up until number 11, when Nick A30 started playing Fortnite. Now, we all know Fortnite is one of Nick A30's favorite games, but Nick, if you're watching, what about Kingdom Hearts, or Splinter Cell Double Agent, or SOCOM 2? But anyways, in September 2017, Nick A30 started streaming Fortnite on YouTube. And you can't forget his classic plaid shirt that he wore, including his first win and his classic...
Nick, what's the game called? It's called Fortnite. It's free.
But the real way Nick A30 blew up was not from a lucky shout out. He would wake up at the early hours of the morning to stream Fortnite before people were even awake. Since Fortnite was extremely competitive, being on that early allowed him to get a shot at being noticed by the viewers. And he did. More and more people were catching on to Nick A30's streams and loving his positivity and energy around the game. And at number 12, the real reason Nick A30 started to become popular in Fortnite was because he was a god at Fortnite editing. The community even gave him the nickname, the Edit God. Nowadays, Nick A30's editing is fast. Don't get me wrong, he's cracked. But back then, his editing was literally the pinnacle of what it meant to edit fast. And while you might watch this and think this is kind of basic, no one was doing this back in the day. But he's not just a Fortnite editor, because at number 13, did you know that Nick A30 edits all of his videos? That's right. Even though Nick A30 could hire a bunch of editors, he actually edits all of his own videos. His main channel videos, his shorts, the reels he posts on his Instagram, he edits it all himself in his own editing software. When he started making videos for his YouTube channel, he really fell in love with the editing process and it has stuck with him ever since. He wants to add his own touch to his videos, and it definitely shows, but because he's editing all his videos, it leads to a lot of late nights and long weekends, because when he's not streaming, he's basically editing. We gotta respect Nick for that, but he also got the Fortnite community's respect when he broke the Fortnite squad kill record. And he actually did this twice. The first time he was teaming up with One Shot Girl while going up against Cloaksy and Tfue during Fortnite Friday. Two duos would join into a squad and have to get the most eliminations, and both teams popped off, getting 55 kills in one game, which was the squad kill record on PC. But Nick wasn't done yet, because one season later, Fortnite decided to host a similar competition, so NickA30 decided to team up with Replays. He went up against FaZe Space Lion and Turkey Lips, and they combined for 56 eliminations, setting the new squad kill record on PC. Nick's constantly trying to push himself, which is why it's no surprise at number 15, NickA30 loves the gym. Now, he loves his morning jogs, but sometimes it's just too cold for him to go out for a run, so he had to figure out another way to stay active. So in 2018, he decided to get a gym membership, and the rest was history. Sometimes he'll post on Twitter with some pictures showing just how jacked he really is, and it's honestly surprising for someone who plays Fortnite all day. And he's very consistent with the gym, because one time we were at a convention for Fortnite Twitch Rivals, and he ran into Loser Fruit because he had to go get an early morning pump before the tournament. But at number 16, NickA30 also has a love for cars. NickA30's dad actually owned an auto shop, and while NickA30 was only 9 years old, he decided to participate in his family business. This taught NickA30 a lot about being an entrepreneur. His dad actually passed the certification to become a mechanic by fixing things on his own and then just showing up and acing the test. He has a love for cars, and his car of choice is his blue Volkswagen Golf R that he loves to drive during the summer. Now, some people say he might have had another car, but I don't know much about that. Let's get to number 17, when NickA30 and I went NASCAR racing. That's right, back in 2021, NASCAR actually invited myself and NickA30 to go to the Daytona 500, and some of the race car drivers actually took us around the lap a few times, reaching speeds up to 200 miles per hour. It was a great time, but now we need to talk about number 18, NickA30's long lost brother. Everyone's seen the memes on TikTok. There's this guy that looks exactly like NickA30, and some people call him NickA15. His name is G Bills, but is he actually his brother? Well, NickA30 does have a brother, but it's not him. Bro-A30 is his brother, and he actually does help him out with his streams sometimes. He helps him pass out V-Bucks sometimes and also helps him with sponsorships. And if NickA30 is asking the mods to ban someone, it might be Bro-A30. But for number 19, I had a crazy experience with NickA30 that I completely forgot about. NickA30 and I were actually playing duos when we both got a donation from someone at an esports center. They said there was a bunch of kids watching our stream and they wanted us to give them some life advice. But also, if we won that game, they would all get free ice cream. So the pressure was on. NickA30 and I were giving life advice while clutching up a duo match when NickA30 got knocked, but luckily I finished off the last two players and all the kids celebrated because they were getting free ice cream. The crazy part about this is I completely forgot this happened, and it just shows how long I've been playing Fortnite. But at number 20, Nick will never forget his charity stream incident. NickA30 loves doing charity streams for causes that he's passionate about. So one day he was doing a charity stream for cancer research when he got this life-changing donation.
Oh, wait. What? $20,000? Are you serious? Like,
that's extremely wholesome. And at number 21, he did another charity stream with Jack Black. Yeah, Jack Black actually plays games, but it was still a surprise when he joined NickA30 and Sancho West during a charity stream where they were raising money for a children's hospital. It was a huge success and there was a ton of funny moments, but let's switch gears. I want to tell you about number 22, NickA30's huge inspirational story. NickA30 actually went to college to major in psychology and biology. Nick, don't ask how I know that. But his goal was to become a doctor, and he was still trying to juggle YouTube on the side. And while trying to do both, his grades started to slip, and he went from being a straight A student to failing. He was extremely burnt out, and while trying to juggle his YouTube channel and his grades falling behind, he reached a breaking point. Nick A30 was faced with a tough decision: pursue becoming a doctor or chase his dreams on YouTube. His parents weren't always on board. Nick A30 had to record videos in hiding when his parents weren't home because they didn't want him to do YouTube. But after a lot of convincing, Dad A30 decided to give him 1 year. And Nick was determined to make this work at all costs. He went all in to chase his dream of becoming a full-time content creator. He stayed up late at night, constantly making videos for his channel, and his dad was extremely supportive by turning half of the garage into a studio for Nick to record out of. As someone who went through something similar, that warms my heart. And at number 23, we also have to talk about Dad A30. Because one of Nick A30's secret weapons for his stream is his dad. For some reason, he is a tech expert and is extremely good with technology, including streaming equipment. He built Nick A30's entire setup, building his PC from scratch and coordinating everything with his camera and OBS. We absolutely love a supporting dad, but we also need to talk about number 24, the time Nick A30 met Mr. Beast. That's right, back then Mr. Beast was doing a lot of Fortnite videos, so he decided to do a 100 player battle royale in real life. He invited a bunch of battle royale streamers, and when he put out the tweet, Nick A30 was the first to respond. He ended up going with Replays and Sancho, and it was a great time. But speaking of Sancho West, he's a big part of Nick A30's stream, but how did they exactly meet? They actually met because Sancho was also a Last of Us multiplayer content creator, and he was actually a bigger creator at the time and ended up using one of Nick A30's loadouts, and they started talking ever since. They've been best friends ever since, but nothing will come close to Nick A30's true love, Taylor Swift? That's right, Nick A30 is a certified Swiftie.
It's Taylor Swift!
If you search up Nick A30 Taylor Swift, he has a bunch of tweets tagging Taylor Swift and talking about how much he loves her music. I bet you didn't know that. But did you know that Nick A30 was in YouTube Rewind?
Yeah.
Nick A30 actually flew across the country to be in this video and filmed with YouTube for days, and they ended up using just one shot of him rubbing his hand, and it ended up being the most disliked video in YouTube history. But I also dislike Nick A30 because at number 28, we need to talk about the beef Nick A30 and I have. Back in chapter 2, there were two weapons that Nick A30 and I were championing. I was pushing for the rapid fire SMG, and Nick A30 loved the lever action shotgun. So we had to put it to the test and went face to face in multiple videos. And to this day, this rivalry still lives on, and that's why I'm no longer friends with Nick A30. But even still, I hope number 29 comes true, the Nick A30 icon skin. He's one of the most requested icon skins, staying loyal to the game ever since the beginning, constantly making videos and live streaming. And who knows, maybe it's in the works. He's said things that might imply it's happening, or maybe it's just jokes. I've been personally guilty of doing both. Those were 29 facts, and for number 30, I got a few that I just couldn't fit in here. Hey, Nick A30, were you a mathlete? Do you start TV shows but never quite finish them? Did you used to play guitar, and does your aunt live in Australia? Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, A-Team. I'll see you guys next time.